I tend to do that. I tend to not always jump on where my inner being wants me to go.
Well, here's the thing that we're really encouraging for all of you. When you get that feeling that nothing's going to keep you from going, go. But until you have that feeling, take your time. So you just described that. You said, what did you say? You're talking about your inner being.
Yeah, the inner being. And so sometimes that intensity, that desire to do something, it does fluctuate.
But the intensity that you're describing is about your resistance. Because when your inner being is calling you, which it always is, and you're not resistant in that moment, and so you're going with the flow, it doesn't feel intense, it feels invigorating, exciting, calling you like something you really want to do. And that's why our strongest message to all of you these days, especially those like you who've been listening for a while and have really got the essence of this, you just got to chill more, but don't romp after it unless you just can't stand not to. Don't try to push the noodle by making something that isn't quite ready, or when you're not quite ready, work.
I think another thing that you just opened up, that was kind of one of the questions, which is funny, is there's a difference between me chilling too much and hanging out too much and taking my naps and having my joy and seeking that joy, and then coming back and say, okay, well, I do need to do the work, because I feel like even though my inner being guides me, I feel like, okay, well, here's a direction where we can go. So it's like this little tango of going back and forth about following inner being versus me being like, hey, I want to go this way, versus me letting you lead the way.
This is where the sophistication of your awareness of your relationship with your inner being comes in. Because if you're taking the nap out of withdrawal or...
Just to reset.
Well, even that. If you're taking the nap in order to alleviate, rather than because you're looking for refreshment. Now you say, I'm looking for the reset. Well, can you feel how there's a little more resistance in the notion of reset and in the notion of refreshment? In other words, it's like, I'm going to start over and I need this nap. Well, that's withdrawal in a sort of trying to escape from what is.
I don't want to scurry away or anything. I'm not trying to avoid it, but I'm trying to say, okay, let me just do this for a couple of minutes or like an hour and then come back to it with a different perspective.
We're just asking you to ask yourself that question when you say, I need a nap. Are you saying, I need a nap for escape? Or do I want a nap for replenishment? Because they feel emotionally very different. You know that feeling when you wake up. Now we're just going to describe it to you because we know you've all lived this. You wake up and you could get up. You maybe even should get up. But you don't have to get up. And just 5 more minutes just sounds so delicious. So you just settle back in and pick up right where you left off in that deliciousness. Feel that as compared to, oh man, I need 5 more minutes. I'm not ready for this. I'm not ready for this. I haven't slept at all. No. You keep pushing the snooze button because you're not ready. So what we're asking you to do is to become sophisticated about your relationship with your emotions. Because you've got all the big obvious stuff done. It's this subtle stuff that you're working on. The moving up the emotional scale, it's like owning where you are without self-criticism about where you are. Hardly any of you ever do that. You think the emotional scale is an indictment. Oh, lower half of the scale, you know what that means. Instead of understanding that it's just letting you know, and we don't care where you are on the emotional scale, your awareness of where you are and you're willing to relax and allow yourself to move will start a trend that will take you all the way to the top of the scale and right into the immediate fulfillment of everything you want. You just don't know that, but that is how it is. That is how it is.